Hey guys, Martin here, Full Moon Drummer on YouTube and UK guy in USA in the International Scale Modelers Forum. I'm going to be doing a inbox review of the Airfix 148, the Havilland Mosquito PR.16, PR standing for Photo Reconnaissance, and this is the D-Day version, 1944 to 2014 70th anniversary boxed set that was released this year. This was a gift off a young engineer when I was in the UK for my sister's funeral last month, and it was a nice surprise that Rob, the engineer, bought this for me when we all met up, and we hadn't seen each other for a long time. It had been some of the guys I hadn't seen for 15 years and others I hadn't seen for 27 years. It was the first group of engineers I'd worked with since leaving college. Anyway, let's get on with the review. I haven't opened this, it's still sealed up, so you're seeing it as I see it. Alright, nice artwork as usual from Airfix, showing the British version. It comes in two colour schemes, a British version and an Indian version. I'll be modelling the British version when I get round to it, and that British version is representative of 544 Squadron, RAF Benson, June 1944, and the Indian version is 684 Squadron, RAF Dum Dum, India, 1945. Usual box packaging from Airfix, gives you the list of colours. Airfix points, if you can use them, which you can't in the USA, for the Airfix Club, and then on this side some photographs of different areas of the aircraft. But yeah, I'll be doing the one with the D-Day stripes because I love the D-Day stripes, and I prefer that colour, that blue colour that it comes in. So I'm just going to open this box. Let's see what we got. Take the lid off. Alright, instructions. Decals. Oh, there's no cover on the decal. Oh yes there is. It's on the underside of there. Came off. We'll look at those in a minute, but let's have a look in the box. Okay, so it's just one big bag. It's sealed across the top, heat sealed, and all the sprues packed into one bag, and inside there's a separate bag for the clear parts. Alright, let's look at the instructions. Comes in 5 languages: British, French, German, Spain and Swedish. Gives a bit of history about the Mosquito. It was one of the fastest fighter planes of the World War II. Not as fast as the ME-262 jet engine, almost. It was capable of 415 miles per hour, the PR.16. Carried extra fuel tanks for long range, so when it was on photo reconnaissance missions, it had the capability to do about 2,250 miles with the extra fuel tanks that could be put into the wings and the drop tanks underneath the wings, plus the 3 within the fuselage. So I'm just going to look at the instructions. Just a quick look. We have 24 separate assembly instructions. We have a nice colour chart there for the British Squadron, 544 Squadron with the D-Day stripes, and it's the Prussian blue that it's coloured in, the PRU blue, number 230 umbral. and it has the midnight blue propeller noses. Excuse me. And then on the back it has the aluminum natural metal finish for the Indian Squadron, 684 Squadron. Alright, so let's have a quick look through. As usual, we start with the cockpit. It's got a base, the back. I'm just, after building the Tamiya version, I've got that in my head, so I'm sort of comparing it mentally with the Tamiya. It seems to have quite a reasonable amount of detail within the cockpit. Comes with two figures, pilot, navigator, which the Tamiya doesn't. It's got the joystick, it's got two seats, it's got the radio console. So it looks fairly detailed. And then, so that's parts 1 to 4. Parts 5 is the tail wheel. And part 6 is assembling the two fuselage halves together around the tail wheel and putting the cockpit assembly within the starboard side before assembling the port side. And there's a window to be cut out here. Looks like a clear parts going in there for photo reconnaissance, and two in the bottom of the fuselage. Excuse me. Part 7 showing assembling the canopy onto the fuselage and the front clear nose cone. Part 8 is the assembling what looks like what would be the bomb bay doors, and you can have them in the open or closed position. And then section 9 is assembling them to the fuselage, and then section, it gives you options again, having them open or closed. Section 10 looks like the wheel assembly. It's the mud guards, 2 of those for the front wheels. Number 11 is assembling the front wheels and then putting the frame around the wheels with this suspension, which they didn't use hydraulic cylinders. I believe they were rubber compression and springs. Number 13, the wheels all assembled, putting the mud guards onto the assembled wheels. Section 14 is assembling the propellers. Section 15 is the engine nacelle. Section 16 is the engine nacelle, so starboard port side nacelles, with the doors, wheel bay doors open, assembling the wheel bay doors there. And then section 17 is putting the wheel assemblies into those nacelles along with the propeller assembler. Typical Airfix, just a spindle off the back of the propeller and then a washer, round washer, to glue onto the back of that spindle and trapped between the wall section. I much prefer the Tamiya method of assembling propellers. It's a lot smoother and firmer construction, and you get the rubber bushing that goes around the spindle and allows it to rotate nicely but keep it rigid. These Airfix style of assemblies, they can tend to flop around if they're not done correctly. So 17, 18 is the nacelle, wheel and propeller assemblies. Section 19 is the starboard side wing assemblies, assembling the upper, lower and the the nacelle, propeller, wheel assemblies onto those wing assemblies. And section 20 is for the port side, Section 21 is then assembling those wings onto the fuselage, along with putting the exhausts onto the engine nacelles. And number 22 and number 23, they look like the drop tanks. And then the last section, 24, is assembling the drop tanks onto the undersides of the wings. So it seems pretty straightforward. Looks like it's reasonably detailed in the cockpit. So let's move on to the next thing. We'll see when we open the bag of parts what the detail looks like. But let's have a look at the decals before we open the bag of parts. They have sort of a satin finish. They're very thin, very flat. Very little carrier film around those. So we have the two squadrons there, the Indian squadron, the British squadron, and then we have common decals on the side here. All those decals common to both versions. And the decals look really good to me. I'm not I don't think they're cardographed, but they look pretty good. And all Airfix models I've built so far this year, I've never had problems with decals, so I don't think I'll have any problems with those. Alright, let's open the bag and have a look at some of these parts. Let's see how they look. So I'm just going to put the bag, take that off. Alright, I'll put the clear parts aside. Oh, there's three bags of clear parts. So we've got, okay, they're offering 3 different canopies here. If you can see that. 1 canopy, 2 canopy, 3 different canopies. Let me go back to the instructions because I didn't see any 3 versions offered. It was just 1 version. Where the canopy, yeah, they're just showing the 1 version. If you can see there's no alternative. So it looks like there's 2 extra versions of canopies, which is nice. I guess if you didn't want to do the photo reconnaissance and you wanted to do a camouflage fighter bomber version, you could, because you've got what look like the fighter bomber version canopies here. And those two actually, these 2 spares actually look identical. So thanks Airfix for giving me spares, but if I stick to the photo reconnaissance I'm not going to need them, but it's a nice option. Anyway, let's have a look at the fuselage. Alright, with it being a wooden plane, there wasn't any riveted steel panels, aluminum panels, so there's no panel lines or riveted details. But we do have the some nice detail on the tailplane there with the recess for the rudder. It's not a moving rudder, it's fixed. And then we have a panel line around there where the back tail portion is fitted to the fuselage. And we also have some recessed features here for oil tanks, whatever they are, fuel tank, entry points, filler caps. On the inside there's detail on the wall, if you can see that, which is nice. I can't remember that being on the Tamiya, but there's some engraved detail in there. I'm not seeing any sink on the fuselage. Looks like a fairly crisp, clean part. And there's no flash around these shutout features. no flash around the where the canopy joins onto the opening for the cockpit. No flashing around the through holes, so it looks pretty good. And it's that softer plastic, it's not the old rigid plastic that Airfix use, it's this newer softer plastic that they tend to be using with their newer kits. Here's the instrument panel. Looks pretty nice. I'll be painting that, dry brushing it. Here's the seat with the headrest. That looks nicely detailed. This looks like a bomb. Two halves of a bomb, and they're the end cones. So it looks like we've got what could be like a 1,000-pound bomb in there. So looks like you have the option for something, but it doesn't show it in the instructions. So I think that's pretty good. If you want to do a fighter bomber version, you've got some. Hi guys, sorry it cut off. I must have hit the 15-minute mark, which went quick. So I'm back again. But as I was saying, it looks like you've got extra pieces here to do different versions. These look like two halves of what could be like a 1,000-pound bomb. So it's nice that there's options. Here's the starboard side fuselage again. It looks like a really nice moulded part. Door detail, recessed panel lines, some recessed features here, but as you know, the rest of it wasn't aluminum body. Here's the underwing bomb bay doors, exhausts, just a tiny little bit of flash on a couple of those exhausts. But everything else, and there's detail inside those bomb bay doors framework, which is nice. And on the starboard side, inside wall of the fuselage, there's lots of engraved detail in there as well, which is good. Some nice features, but again the moulded parts look great. They look moulded nice. Let's get on to the wings. No sink, very crisp, clean looking parts. I'm not seeing any flash. I'm not seeing any ejector pin stress marks, because the ejector pins are going to be on the underside, as you can see. But there's plenty of those, providing enough surface area to push these parts off without stressing. So there's no ejector pin stress marks. Pilot and navigator parts. So all the wings, the upper lower wing moulded parts look good. The stabilizers look good. Some rivet details on the fins there. So I'm happy with the way that sprue looks. So how many sprues do we have? I didn't count. We have the two fuselage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 6 sprues altogether. We've looked at the fuselage halves. We've looked at the wings. And now here we have wheels, engine nacelles, nose cone, more instrument panels, headrests, seats, etc. for the internal. Tail wheel. There's some flash around that tail wheel, if you can see that. Some flash around the nose cone there. But we're going to be having the clear nose cone on here. This is offering a nose cone for the 4 machine guns. So again, more options it's offering, and here's some bombs. So it is giving you the moulded parts for a fighter bomber version if you want to do it, which is cool. Here's the suspension units for the wheels, and the propeller nose cones, which do have some flash around those shut-offs where the propeller's arms come through. So there's some flash there, and there's some flash around the engine nacelle here. But there's nice detail on the engine nacelles. Overall it looks pretty good, apart from the bits of flash here and there. But I'm not seeing any warping, I'm not seeing sinks, I'm not seeing ejector pin stress marks on the moulded surfaces, visible surfaces. So that makes me happy. So more fuselage halves and more wings. So we definitely, and here we go, we've got rockets. Wow, I'm tempted. Do I want to go for the photo reconnaissance, or do I want to make one with rockets on it? Wow. More mud flaps, different exhaust versions. So this is definitely offering us all versions: fighter bomber, with rockets, with bombs, and drop tanks, underwing drop tanks, the different styles of instrument panels for the fighter bomber and the photo reconnaissance, and different canopies, as I showed you earlier, for both versions, fighter bomber and photo reconnaissance. So I'd say it's a pretty good kit with all these different offerings, although you'd have to obviously get some aftermarket decals to represent one of the versions with the rockets or with the bombs, which isn't difficult, but it's giving you a lot of choice there. What I can see, 4 versions, which is nice. So that's it from me, I think. Now I'm confused at what version I'm going to do, because it's spoiling me. What other kits on the market offers you all these extra parts, extra wings, extra nacelles, extra bombs, rockets, cockpit canopies, and instrumentation panels for all the different versions? I have to take my hats off to Airfix for this one, for the price as well. Obviously in England it's more expensive than we get in America, but for the price I can get in America, it's pretty cool for all those versions that are on offer. Alright, well, I do have a fighter bomber version, the Tamiya kit that I modelled, so I guess I'll stick with this photo reconnaissance British version with the D-Day stripes. So that's it from me. I hope I've covered everything, and if you have any questions about the kit, I can open the kit again, have a look, and answer any questions you might have. But anyway, that's it from me. I'm going to enjoy putting that together, and happy modelling, guys. Take care for now, and keep up the great modelling. Airfix 148, the Havilland Mosquito PR.16, photo reconnaissance. Tally-o, chocks away.